Hello, it's Adam from Jestic Foodservice Solutions, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Elmeco Big Biz slush machine, and we're going to talk about how to take it apart and put it back together, usually for the purposes of cleaning, okay? But during that process, we're going to talk about how to re-lubricate the machine so that you can prevent any spillages, and just general care and maintenance, and some tips along the way. What you're going to need is something like this, a lubricant, which you can buy widely available. You can usually buy them for things like ice cream machines as well. Very useful to have a couple of tubes of this on hand. We're going to need a commercial kitchen cleaning spray and a dishcloth or some blue roll. We're also going to need a towel or a cloth. So let's get started. First of all, let's take a look at the machine. As you can see, I've already taken one tank apart. I'm just going to show you how to take off this second tank. So that's what we're going to end up with in the end. First thing to do is to point out the parts. We've got the lid, we've got the tank, we've got the handle assembly, and we've got the release clips here. We've got the drip tray, and inside we can see that we've got the augers as well. What I would say for now is leave the drip tray in place just in case there is some liquid still left in the tank. Obviously you want to be doing this when the machine is turned off and also emptied. So make sure you do that before getting to this stage. Now the Big Biz does have a locking mechanism on the lid, so you're going to need to unlock that and remove the lid. Put that to one side. The second thing we're going to want to do is, if you can see this, the auger locking nut. This keeps the auger in place, so it's very easy to undo. Just undo it like that, and it just comes straight out like this, okay? So just place that to one side. Now we're going to unclip the machine from the tank, so that you pull that up from the bottom and flip it over. Now if there is a little bit of liquid left in the machine, now is the time it's going to come out, and you simply hinge that up and take that straight off. It's very, very similar to the other machine that Elmeco do called the First Class. We've got another video, I'll link that. If you've got a First Class machine, go and have a look at that video instead. Right, now we're looking at an empty bowl and the auger assembly. So you can see we've got a vertical spindle here and a horizontal auger. The auger is very simple, it just pulls straight off like that, and you can see how that connects with the cog there. We'll talk about that in a second. To get this vertical one off, you're going to need to unscrew that. It should only ever be tightened by hand, so it shouldn't be too tight. Never over tighten that one. That just comes straight off like that. Finally, the last thing to do is to just take out the drip tray. Very, very simple. The top half comes apart from the bottom half. Now, for day-to-day cleaning, generally speaking, all of this stuff can go straight in the dishwasher and come back out and reassemble in the reverse order. However, you're going to want to do some deep cleaning every couple of days. So we'll talk about how to fully take apart this machine. So first of all, let's take a look at the cog. This comes off, you just pull it straight off. So we take that off. You can see it is covered in grease. That's the lubricant. We're going to take a look at the lubricant in a little while, but that is to keep the machine running smooth. Of course, it's food safe, so that is designed to be in there. The cog on the vertical spindle also comes off, and you can see exactly how it goes straight back on again. 4 corners. So we'll just take those and put them to one side. Now the tricky part, well, some people find this tricky, but once you've got the hang of it, it's actually very, very easy. Once you've done it once, you can figure it out straight away. So here we've got the tank and the handle assembly. So to take the handle assembly off, you need to slide this front cover off. It just comes off simply like that. And then to get the handle off, you just gently push and it will just pop off straight like that. What you're left with is this part here, which does unscrew. It is spring loaded, so hold on to it. There we go. And then it just pulls straight out. Again, this bit will have some lubricant on it, so just be aware of that. You're going to need to re-lubricate that once we've put it through our dishwasher, because the dishwashers tend to get rid of the lubricant. Okay, so now what we've got is the empty bowl, empty tank. that does still have the seal in it. So this seal is another part which we will need to re-lubricate afterwards. Take the seal out. I'm going to hand wash my seal because it does make it last longer. If you want to put it through the dishwasher, that's absolutely fine. It just won't last as long. All of those components which we took apart can now go through the dishwasher. Again, as I say, try to keep the seal, try to hand wash that if you can. If it needs to go in the dishwasher, that's fine. If you are going to put that in the dishwasher, I would probably leave it in the tank. I wouldn't even take it out of the tank. Okay, so that's that. Now let's take a look at the machine itself. What we've got here is the refrigerant surface, the bowl. That can simply be wiped and sprayed. Give it a little spray, give it a wipe. It's probably going to be a little bit sticky with syrup mix or whatever it is you're slushing down, cocktails, etc. Give that a wipe, make sure it's nice and clean. The external of the machine, of course, do give it a wipe. Make sure it's turned off, as I say, and unplugged from the wall. Give everything a good wipe, as you would normally with any of your catering equipment. Good wash. Now you might see some residue. That would be from the lubricant of the seal. So again, it's food safe, but I would wipe that off because we're going to refresh that when we put things back together. So now that that is clean, we're ready to reassemble. Okay, so some time has passed. Components have been put through the dishwasher or we've washed them by hand, and we're now ready to put things back together. Start with the bowl and the seal. Very easy. You can see on the bowl that there is a groove. The seal fits very neatly into that. So we'll just go around, start with the back corners, gently press in, don't overwork it. Make sure that the corners are in correctly. Okay, so we've got our four corners of the seal in there. Now we're going to get our lubricant, food safe lubricant. Again, you can find these online. They're widely available. This brand is the one that we're using today. However, there are a few available. We're not necessarily endorsing this one. It might be that if you already use an ice cream machine or a soft serve machine, you've already got some of this on hand, because this is a very common consumable item that you might use with a soft serve machine. So as you can see, I'm just putting a pea-sized amount on my finger, and then I'm just going to gently run that along the seal. My hands have been cleaned thoroughly, by the way, so I have very clean hands. If you prefer to use gloves, please do. Again, what you want to make sure is you get right in on those corners with the lubricant. Make sure that you've got good coverage. What we are trying to achieve here is a perfect seal, so that when we sit this tank back on the base of the machine, water will not be able to escape. You've seen how the machine was assembled when we had it assembled earlier. If lubricated correctly and when placed back on the machine, it will not leak. And even if it does leak, I'll show you in a second. If you haven't set it on correctly, it's not the end of the world. Don't panic, because these machines are very cleverly designed to channel water directly into the drip tray if you haven't set it correctly. So, tank is done. Next, we're going to lubricate the handle mechanism and the auger nut, the auger locking nut. Again, you can see on the handle mechanism, we've got two very small seals here, 1 and 2. We're going to lubricate those, and on the auger locking nut, we've got 2 very small seals. We're just going to quickly put some lubricant on those, and whilst we're at it, let's take a look at those cogs that we took off earlier. We took these off to give them a good wash. We're going to re-lubricate these as well. Very, very simple, same principle, pea-sized amount at a time. Don't overdo it, because you can just create a huge mess. So a little bit of lubricant just on the seal and a little bit on that one there. Similarly on the locking nut, bit of lubricant there. With the cog, it's a little bit of an awkward shape. So what I'm going to do, a little bit on my finger again. I'm just going to work it in very gently, just work it in. And as that cog turns against the other cog, the lubricant will work itself into the whole mechanism. Okay, so a little bit more on the other one. And now we've got basically a fully lubricated machine, which is ready to be reassembled, ready to go. Right, let's put that handle mechanism back together. Now I'm going to cut to a close-up of me doing this because it is a little bit tricky if you've not done it before, but essentially you take this spring-loaded mechanism and you pop it into the bigger hole. So there's two holes on the front, the small hole, the big hole, and pop it into the bigger hole. And if you look, you can see that if you line it up correctly, keep turning it until you've lined it up, and it should push in, and then you can lock it in place. Push and twist. Once you get the idea, once you've done it once, I'll tell you, it's a lot easier. But getting it that first time, if you don't know what you're doing, or if you've not done it before, it can be a little bit tricky. So watch out for that one and follow that closely. The next bit. So we can see here we've got this bar. We want to twist that so that it's sort of horizontal, if you like. So we've got it this way across. So when I put it on, it was like that. We're going to twist it this way. The handle, you can see how that fits. There's a hole there. It's going to fit over like that. And then, remember when we pushed it to unlock it, we're going to pull it to lock it in place. So I'll do it once more. And to finish the job, we put the cover on. So that's just a case of sliding it on and locking it on. That's our handle assembly put back together. The next job, we've got our auger and we've got our vertical spindle. Now, we've got two cogs. Which one goes with which? So the little one goes with the little one and the big one goes with the big one. You've guessed it. So it's very easy, it just snaps on. You can see that there are grooves on the underside and you can see that there are notches on this one. It just simply pops on like that. And then that should fall into place. Give it a little twist and it should just fall down nicely into place there. On the big cog, same sort of principle. You've got 4 notches and 4 grooves. Just twist it to find where it fits. In it goes. And now you can see the cogs are aligned. You can tell that it's aligned because, yeah, you can turn that by hand and it works smoothly. The locking nut goes on top of your vertical spindle. Just hand tighten it. In fact, I wouldn't hold it. Don't hold the bottom half whilst you're twisting that because you can over tighten it. Just turn it by hand until the vertical spindle starts turning by itself. There you go. And that's enough. That's all you need to do. Now we're ready to put our bowl back on top. So our fully lubricated handle and bowl assembly, that goes back on top. Now let me just show you something here. At the rear of the machine, we've got 2 hooks, which are kind of shaped like this. You want to put the bowl underneath, so it hinges like that, okay? So I'll show you a close-up of that, but essentially it goes in, and then if you've got it set correctly, it will just contact the machine straight away. If you find that it's slightly to the side or it's not going down naturally, don't force it, just try to reset that hinge at the back. Once you've got it, it will just fall nicely into place. Great, now it's time to put our locking nut back on. To do this, you might need to pull the handle forward. Pop the locking nut in. You might also need to just readjust the auger, and then it goes in and you just give it a little twist. You can tell that it's in correctly because you've got what looks like one piece of white plastic running all the way through. One thing to note, one little trick for you. We have a lockout mechanism here. This black lever on the handle assembly, you can flick it up and you can flick it down. Okay, up, down. What that does, if you're finding that you can't move this handle, it's because that is locked in place. See, when you've got it locked, you can't move it. And if you unlock it, you can move the handle. If you lock it in place, you can't move the handle. That's to prevent your customers tampering with the machine themselves. That's a little discreet locking mechanism. So just unlock that, keep that unlocked. The handle should move freely. And now finally, all we need to do is put our lid back into place. You can lock those in if you use that. Some people don't, some people use these unlocked. You can put those in place. And the last piece, the easiest part, is the drip tray. So you can see the shape of the drip tray here. I'll just put that up to the camera. It fits nicely and very neatly into the hole at the bottom of the machine there. And then that sits nicely on top. Drip tray's now back on. Final thing to do is to just clip it back in place. Just clip it back in place and lock it. I would suggest the next thing that you do is fill the tank with water to just above the seal level and just have a look. Have you set the bowl on correctly? Have you lubricated the machine correctly? If you notice water dripping down this channel, that's because the machine will not overflow, but it will drip into this channel and it will come out into the drip tray. So just have a quick look. If you followed these steps correctly, you won't have an issue. But if you haven't lubricated it properly or haven't lubricated it in a long time, or you've not set the bowl back on the machine correctly, you might have a small leak. But like I said, don't panic. The machine will channel the liquid into that drip tray for you. So my suggestion is to just put a little bit of water in there, pour it in slowly, give it a visual check, make sure that there's no leaks. And once you're done, you're ready to go. So that was taking apart, cleaning, lubricating, and putting your machine back together. Of course, we're here, we're on hand to help you if you need anything. It's info@jestic.co.uk. Thank you, see you next time.